endlessly embracing butterflies and needles line my seamed up drawing, encased in case I need it. In my stomach, on my heart, chainmail, hunger of the pine.
What comes to mind when I say mental illness?
Anxiety, depression, medication, therapy, counseling.
A bunch of things. I mean, the classic would be like depression, anxiety.
Anxiety, depression.
Mentally ill, obviously, who might have trouble finding help to help their situation, or exist in a society in which it's very hard to understand what they're going through.
Do you or anyone you know suffer from any sort of mental illness?
Yes. My family member does.
Yes, myself, and a lot more people than you would know, you know? Especially as high school progresses and gets worse and more intense, you realize how many more people have the same problems as you.
Yes, more people than you'd actually think. As a person who does, I like understand a lot of aspects of it, and I have a lot of friends that like have it too, and it comes in all different shapes and forms, and it comes in waves, and it comes in long term.
Yes, a lot of people that I know, including myself, I've suffered with anxiety and depression for a very long time, and also, but I feel like it's hard to know people who don't. I feel like a lot of people struggle with mental illness, and I think it's something that most of us have to deal with.
In general, how do you think high school affects teens' mental health?
Oh my god.
Not well. Poorly, negatively.
Horribly.
I feel like it just makes it worse. I think high school can put you in a position that challenges your state of mental health.
It's not fun.
It negatively affects, hands down, high school negatively affects teens' mental health.
I think it's just adds stress and stuff to people, and like that it just wears them down.
High school is probably the worst thing for a teen's mental health. And I mean that as a senior in high school who's gone through almost 4 years of it. It's awful.
Everything from waking up at 5 in the morning to going to all these intense classes, there's so much pressure on you to do well, and by teachers, every teacher thinking their class is the most important.
Whether or not you're in AP classes, IB, standard, honors, the pressure that is put upon you is insane. Like, it's ridiculous. I can't believe that this is the education system we're living in today.
It just all adds up, and then you have to take into account extracurriculars and homework, and it just all adds up, so you're up from 5 to like 1 in the morning, and it keeps going and going and going.
Well, personally, I have been affected by high school as being part of a very stressful program at school, the IB program, which I love because I get to learn a lot, but at times I have had mental breakdowns along with all of my friends, and I'm sure any sort of class brings that on. And you know, it's not fun.
The pressure that's put on kids to do well, to get good grades, is the way that it is. It's absolutely ridiculous. Do you think Myers Park High School helps, is neutral, or hinders teens' mental health?
That's kind of a loaded question, because I think personally it can hinder, but it can also help. So it does have the resources available for students. I do think those need to be, given to students regularly. I think they need to say on the morning announcements, contact your counselor. But it also definitely hinders it because of workload, and then stress with college applications and tests and projects and everything. And I think a lot of teachers need to take that into consideration sometimes.
And they do have excellent resources that people can seek. But I think what Myers Park could do a better job doing is making those resources known to students. I feel like it's something that's gotten better since I've been at Myers Park, but from my freshman year to my senior year, it always hasn't been something that was known to me, that was something I could obtain through my counselors or through other staff at Myers Park. So I think that's something they could improve on.
I would say it's neutral. Until this year, really, I didn't realize the counselors were there for your mental health. The past 4 years of my life, basically, I've gone to my counselor for academic reasons and not my health-related reasons. Had I known they would have been there for that, maybe I would have gone and it would have been better.
Well, I feel like school in general hinders it, but Myers Park has been trying to make it a little bit better, I feel like. Because, like the people said, there's the play that they just put on recently about suicide, and all the counselors were like, hey, you can actually come talk to us about that. But, like, I didn't know about that until this year.
To no fault of their own, I think it's just high school in general and, like, the stress of, like, colleges and, like, it's gonna hinder your mental health.
I think for the most part, Myers Park is helpful for teens' mental health, and almost all of the teachers I had and my counselor have been incredibly helpful, and I know others have as well.
I mean, I would like to give them some credit because for theater just put on a show called The Girl in the Mirror, which is about suicide, and administration did show a lot of effort to bring about suicide awareness and suicide prevention. We had an event called The Light in the Mirror, and counselors made it clear that they are here to listen to students' problems. So that, I mean, I have to give them credit for that. I think that definitely helped. But I also feel like school in general hinders, mental illness. But they have been making efforts to help. So I think that's good.